Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. So, first of all, in shock for how many people, like in the response within the last 24 hours. There's 109 of you inside this group, the tea table. And I wanted to take some time to kind of introduce myself, let you know what exactly the intention of this group is. And yeah, so I am so excited for this kind of space because I don't think I've really seen much of what I'm creating here. I have created this in my moon circles, which I'm still bringing up here in my home. So if you are local and you would want to do that, I'll leave the information for that. But I know that sometimes we can be a little hesitant to kind of put ourselves out there and go meet new people. But if you are open to doing that, great. If you're open to kind of just being here, fantastic. That's really the first step sometimes. And I am just honored to have you inside of the tea table. So I know some of you were like, I don't drink tea, I have margaritas or a little whiskey. You know what? Whatever choice of beverage, no problem. It's just I have been going out and having conversations with women. And so just before I get started on all that, my name's Alejandra, and I am a mom to a 2 year old. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and before this, I was on a journey as I had a bit of a spiritual awakening back when the pandemic hit. And so, what I did, as the rebel that I am, I hosted a little wine and potluck with some of my girlfriends. And I realized we typically have like these superficial surface level conversations of like, oh my god, that bottle of wine is great, or like your hair looks amazing, or your outfit looks so fantastic, like how's that going, how's work, but nobody really asks of how are you doing, literally, how are you doing, how is life. And the other thing too is that oftentimes our response is usually, I'm okay, I'm fine. When literally inside, we are dying to scream, to let it all out. When we are stressed, when we're frustrated, when we are just completely overwhelmed with everything going on in our life, right? And so this year, we have been kind of going through certain life struggles. I'm just going to be an open book, right? I am pretty much a second wife. So my husband was previously married and he had three boys who I love dearly. And they come to visit us during the holidays and summer break. And my husband is not your typical father man, right? We as women are very familiar with the men that are not part of the lives of the children that they procreate with us, right? Usually we end up being single moms, carrying all the load, the emotional baggage, all of that. And thankfully, I chose better from just getting to know him, knowing what I wanted, knowing that I wouldn't settle, knowing how hard it was from seeing how my mom dealt with life being a single mom. And so I ended up marrying my best friend, and we've been married for 7 years, going on 8 come November. And so we went for custody. There's a whole spiel, and I will share more as time comes. And so we went for custody and we lost. That was the beginning of this year. So that was a bit of a downhill kind of moment. And then the week after that, February, my husband's mother, my mother in law, passed away. And that just kind of really hit home as well. So, like, I understand some of you are also dealing with like grief and loss. There's a lot of just frustration, right? There's a lot of loneliness, of feeling like there's nobody that you can go to or a community that can lift you up, that can be there for you in those times of need during this life, right? There's so many things in life that happen and we have nowhere to turn to. And I've noticed, right, that after what's it called? I guess the pandemic really, we kind of retreated and went into our own little spaces that we don't have a community. For example, my husband and I, right, we used to, or I used to work in an online school, which is where I met him. And that's is where we had our friends, where our coworkers and all of that. And we had a strong unit, but everything kind of just dispersed. Everybody did their own lives. We moved and we kind of lost our people, as well as I kind of found more of my voice, as well as learning how to set firm boundaries. I'm very big on protecting your peace, your energy, because people will take advantage of your kindness. People will walk all over you. And honestly, I'm not about that shit. I am just very big on loving myself, making myself a priority. And this goes for even like for politics. That's not something that I really want to talk about here in this group. I don't think it's very important. I think it's something that really creates division within people and women. And I think that when you are surrounded by the right people, right, you do have this safety where you know that no matter what, you kind of overcome whatever obstacles come your way. But sometimes when you are alone, you kind of feel like you have no strength to keep going, especially after you've been fighting for so long. And so this past month in February, after my mother in law passed away, I set myself an intention to like find my people again, find the women that were kind of willing to be there, right? As well as me being there for them, because it's a transaction for sure. And whether you see that or not, it's just how it is in this life, because this life is literally about energy. And we may not see it, but literally this phone has energy that sends signals to get freaking like service, which is so mind boggling. But so goes with our bodies, our hearts. And with that being said, I want to create a space for women who feel alone, who feel like they want a space where they can let it all out, where they can go ahead and find a place that will let them know of like, hey, like this is what you can do to get out of that hole. This is where you can go ahead and just release all that pent up just anger, frustration, and pick yourself back up again. Because here's the thing, like, you're strong. We all are. And sometimes we need that reminder, right? To tell us of like, you've overcome so many things. You can do it again. For right now, I can hold your hand and you can find your footing again. And so, another thing with that, it's not a place where you just get to dump things, right? We're here to also find solutions, because this is something I truly believe in, is that you are both the problem and the solution, right? Because we can literally focus on the negative thing constantly and feed into that and give into that, and that will drain the shit out of you. Or you can choose to see, okay, what is this looking to teach me? What do I need to learn from the situation? And sometimes we are so stubborn that we don't want to let go, or we want to prove our point. We want to be the person that's right. But sometimes the point is to let it go, to learn of like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back and observe things and ask yourself if this is really worth your time and your effort. And so this is kind of what we're going to come into, as well as just being grateful for where we are and who we have, and putting ourselves out there to experience life. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own little world, we kind of forget to look out and see of like, life is so magical. And in order for it to be magical, we have to make some moves, which is actually something that I kind of heard from one of my friends who hosts sound baths, Jenny, if you're familiar with her, Omdom. Um, there is this thing in her motto from her name of make magical moves. And whatever that move is, whether that's moving your body, right? Or that's either making different career moves, or maybe cutting someone out of your life, or cutting something out of your life, right? Like a bad habit. Um, because that's what gets like the stagnant energy in your life moving. Even the smallest thing of like cleaning your closet. And I only say that because my closet is such a mess, and I've been like looking at it, I'm like, I need to clean this closet. It's so freaking like a mess. Anyways, I want to come here live and answer any questions that you guys may have, some things that you may be going through, that are currently in your life that you just don't know how to move about it. Sometimes you need that outside perspective to kind of be like, oh, that's right. I should have thought of that. But you were so caught up in it, you couldn't get out, which totally okay. It happens to the best of us, right? Or sometimes we're stubborn and we don't actually want to listen to the people that are like literally close to us. Sometimes my husband gives me advice and I'm like, no. And then somebody else gives me the same exact advice he did. And I'm like, oh my God, that makes total sense. And he's like, I literally just told you that. But it happens. That's just how things are. And so that is something that I want to do, as well as maybe check in a couple of times through the week and set the intention, the mood for like Mondays. I don't know how many of you actually work at a corporate or like a 9 to 5 situation. I know I used to hate fucking Mondays, and now I love every single day, as well as I hate every single day, just depending on how much rest I've gotten, right? And so Wednesdays, I want to come on here, go live, and chat with you guys. And like I said, I'll leave the information on my next live event that I host here in my home, where we can actually have conversations and see each other more on a face to face kind of way. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. If there are any questions or any comments, be sure to let me know. And you'll be watching the replay here. So, again, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so grateful to have you in this space. And I can't wait to continue to see this space grow and get to know you guys more on a like deeper personal level. So, yay! All right. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Bye.